at the end of the day, experience is really still the best
Teacher.
teacher.
Yeah.
Kia ora, mabuhay!
Welcome and welcome to
Fika
with
Angela.
or Tin, right?
Or Tin.
And Glee. Toast. School. Yeah.
Just I want to explain myself because I'm Angela Tin, and some people started calling me Tin, and some people still call me Angela.
But why Tin? I'm actually wondering why.
Because my surname is Tinimbang.
Okay.
And my screen name is Angela Tin. So, I don't know. People already started calling me Tin. Maybe because some people thinks that Tin is also my second name.
Yeah. I also thought about that. It's a second name or something. But you know what? In high school, because my last name is Magpok, it's very, they call me Pok Pok or Pok. Or Mags.
Mags.
Yeah, Mags.
Yeah.
Because it's just one syllable. So I think it's common I'm not sure, in Filipino culture where we call each other by the last name as well. Because from the school, right? You remember?
Yeah.
Like Ma'am Lopez, even our teachers, we call by the surname.
Well, for today's podcast, for today's episode, we are going to talk about why did we move from our home place? Home place? Is that what you call it?
Or from where? I mean, why did we move to Auckland, to New Zealand?
Why? Yeah. How about you? Since you moved here 2 months ago.
Yeah,
very fresh.
barely 2 months. As I've mentioned, I was living in Sweden, in Stockholm, in the capital, for 7 years. So roughly 7 years. And I moved here because there are some reasons. For example, the weather, it's very cold.
Yeah.
And, you know...
How cold is it?
Oh, it
compared
comes,
here.
Compared to Auckland.
Yeah.
I don't know in the southern part of New Zealand. But in Sweden, because in Stockholm, it's still in the middle part. So it's -10, -15 sometimes. But then in the northern part, -30, -40. It's very cold. And, see, I'm super brown. So... I'm still Asian. I cannot change my genetics, so I cannot still cope up with the cold weather. But at the same time, my partner and I, we are both explorers, so we want to experience new life. He's been living in Sweden for 10 years.
10
so,
years.
Yeah, more than...
From
India.
Country? From India.
Yeah, so I'm married to an Indian, by the way. And so
shout out to Bunty. Hi Bunty, if you're listening. Hello.
Yes. So that's why he tried to apply for a job here. And
is that the skilled migrant visa or?
Yes, because he works in IT, and IT is everywhere.
Yes.
Indians,
In demand.
IT.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get a job, and luckily I'm very thankful that we're Swedish citizens. So I think it also helped because it made the processing of papers easier compared to having a different passport.
Correct.
So
aside from weather,
my partner being an Indian likes astrology, where our energies are.
Oh, interesting.
And, that is very interesting. That's also one of the main reasons why we moved. There were 3 areas where we were choosing. Well, he was choosing because it was him who has to apply for the job, right?
Yeah.
So, and you know what? If you think about it, these 3 areas are actually warm. So one is in Malaga, in Spain, in the southern part, which is also warm.
Yeah.
It doesn't get that super warm as in Sweden, but it's warm in the sense that winter is 10 degrees, maybe colder than Baguio, but still, or the summer capital of Philippines. But then the range is still fine for us as Asians, right? And the other one is in Porto, in Portugal. So
and
it's still warm. And this one, Auckland, in New Zealand. Imagine of all the places, why New Zealand, right? So people, when they were asking me last time, why New Zealand? I said the main reason is because of these energies. We could have moved to Sydney, right?
How did you really chose those 3?
In astrology, you can decide based on the day you were born, where you were born, when, what time. This one, he contacted an expert in this, and then...
Oh, really?
Yes. And you have to pay for it.
And then the expert told you
Yes, like your energies are stronger here. So if you move... And I think it was a good move. It's not just... I don't really believe in such science But it's a science,
Yeah.
astrology. It's the study of the stars. I think it has really a valid reason because I like it here.
Yeah.
Honestly, compared to imagine barely 2 months and I have many friends. I have
Correct.
many connections. The social life is really good here.
You feel home.
Yes, I feel at home. I never thought that it would be like this way. I was thinking, okay, Westerners again or something. I mean, I don't like to be racist or I'm not discriminating anyone, but you know, as Filipinos, we are very sociable, right?
Yeah.
And going to Sweden where it's a cold country, you know, they have their own culture where it's more private and you
Yeah.
cannot really interact with each other quickly,
Yeah.
you know, in a way like Filipinos will do like first meeting and then suddenly you are inviting someone to your house. No, that will
No.
never happen. It will take months or maybe years before
Yeah.
you get invited.
And you mentioned before, like it was
Mostly
mostly
dark in winter.
in winter.
But then in summer, like right now, this June, these months, June, July, the sun doesn't really go away. It's always not sunny, but the sun sets around maybe 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
And then it doesn't get super dark. So it's like the sunset from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. and at 1:30 a.m. Okay? 1:30 a.m. Believe me, sun is already almost rising. So that's how it is. But then during winter months, the cold months, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
So the sun is only there at 10 a.m. till maybe 2 or 3 p.m. And then it's already dark.
Yeah.
So it's very
It-
gloomy.
Yeah, and it affects your day.
It affects you.
your
Oh.
mental, your
Everything, yes. Believe me, I'm a very happy person. I'm an easy-going person. I'm very positive. But you know, somehow I experienced. It's a fact that the weather has an effect. So sun is
Yeah,
really important.
That's right. Yeah,
Sun
I
is really
agree.
important for our
I
health.
agree. You know, when it really gets gloomy here and it rains all day,
Um.
it already gives me like sadness. Like I
don't
miss
like it.
home. And I can imagine what more in Sweden, right?
Yeah, that's right. Maybe at some point in your life, but in reality, living there permanently is quite difficult, especially if you are from the tropical
Yeah.
countries. It would really take time to. I don't think it would really change your genetics because see, the skin color will have an effect. So
And to be honest, if I am going to choose, like if I want summer or winter, like the cold temperature, the hot temperature, I would rather choose summer.
Me too.
Yeah.
I prefer to sweat, to perspire, because I'm thinking of the benefits that when you sweat, right, the toxins come out of your body.
Yeah.
And there are more things to do during summer
That's
or when it's
right.
warm.
It's more productive when
Yeah.
it's warm.
Yeah, that's true.
That's actually really interesting. Because most common reasons why you are moving from country to another country is maybe because work.
Work.
But you guys, the main reason why you actually moved here was because of the astrology.
Astrology,
The
weather,
weather.
and also we want to explore a new life because you know New Zealand is on the opposite side of the world. If you're in Europe, you're able to visit many countries. Basically, we've explored many countries in Europe.
That's right.
Uh,
Which we actually, most of us want to do.
Yeah, that's why we moved here to explore this region, this
Yeah.
Australia continent. Yeah. So that's basically it. So
Yeah.
it's not about the job. We're all settled.
Yeah, that's
We're
right.
already settled in Sweden. We have an apartment. We sold everything. So basically now we're starting a new life here.
Which is really, really interesting. Same for us, actually.
Yeah. What
We're-
about you? Why
we-
did you come here?
We're same. Actually, my husband. Hi, Christian.
Oh, you're married.
I love you,
She's
yes.
married. She just took 16, by the way.
I'm 26 plus 10 years. But yeah, we moved here. My husband is actually pretty settled also in the Philippines. He had good work. I also had my career. But then, you know, it was that time of pandemic, middle of crisis in the Philippines,
Yeah,
where everything is starting to close down. ABS is closing down. So we have to think about our next steps and losing a family because of COVID and realizing like it's really not a good place for us. I mean, not for everyone, but for us, in our own opinion,
Yeah.
to start a family in the Philippines. But since we also have an option because my husband is Kiwi,
Yeah.
Kiwi citizen,
True.
so why not move to a place where we can actually have a better life?
Yeah.
To start a family and to start a good future for the both of us.
Yeah.
So, and not only for the both of us, but also for my family. You know, maybe they can come here. For Sophia, we are trying to.
Who's Sophia?
Sophia is my niece.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
that's
the
true.
daughter of my brother. We're trying to send to college now. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Hopefully.
So hopefully,
soon.
hopefully soon. So yeah, we just realized it's maybe time for us to do a better decision for our lives and get out of our comfort zone. Get out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, I have a question. Is it your first time here, or have you visited New Zealand like as a tourist?
It is my first time here.
Okay.
All
right.
My family and I, we're actually a type of really comfortable in where we are already. I mean, we don't move from place to place.
Nomads.
So yeah.
We're like nomads.
Yeah. So this is really a big decision. Since this is also my first time to be away from my family.
Yeah.
So yeah, big decision, but I think really worth it.
Yeah, it's nice to be independent.
Yeah.
And to have your own life in a different country. I think it will help you as an individual. It will help you grow.
Yes.
Being independent and away from your family without their support. Aside from that, what else? Are there any other reasons aside from better life?
Better life, starting a family. I also wanted, honestly, I always had this in mind, but I also wanted to be like an international artist.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, it was really a big decision for my career as well, since I started years ago in the Philippines, and I think I've established a good name in the Philippines. I mean, not really like a super famous, but at least I've already started. I had a contract with Viva Records and such.
Okay.
So it was a big decision to be moving here and starting from zero again.
Yeah.
But then I always had this like, what does it feel to be an international artist? So yeah, so
but it's a good
it pushed me.
I think it's a good opportunity for you because the country is also roughly not even 6 million, like 5 million.
Correct.
So
Emerging.
it's emerging, yes, and
emerging.
they need good singers like Tin.
But then I'm not saying that I'm going to be an international, or like a big. But
You don't know.
I want it. I
Yeah.
want it. I mean,
You will get it.
That's my goal.
Visioning.
Yeah.
No, but for the listeners out there, viewers, in the Filipino Kiwi Music Awards, she's the songbird of New Zealand, right?
Yee.
Was it a good move for you? What do you think? How would you assess moving here from Philippines to Auckland, New Zealand?
I think it's really a good move since considering all the expenses in the Philippines compared here. I mean, the cost of living is much more expensive, but if you think about long term, like the medical expenses, the school expenses of your future children or future kids. So I think it's really a good move. For you, was it a good move?
Yeah, definitely. I have to be honest, but we don't plan to move back to Sweden. I don't know, unless it's really needed.
Yeah.
But we love it here.
Yeah.
I think we found a home here. Not just a house, but a home. I think that's the reason why many Filipinos also come here. Aside from the language, in Sweden, of course, you have to learn the Swedish
That's right.
language. But here, it's easier
Yeah.
because we all speak English,
Yes.
although they have a different accent, but at least I understand them.
Yeah.
So there's no challenge when it comes to language. The problem is we love traveling. So I think it's moving here for us.
Yes.
Since we love traveling, it's a bit difficult. It's quite expensive.
That's right.
But in for example, in Europe, one weekend, just 2 days before, you can plan. And it's not super expensive. We can fly directly to Paris or to Spain, and it's not super expensive. But here, you really have to plan in advance,
that's right.
months before your preferred travel dates, because it's sweet. New Zealand is in the opposite side of the world.
That's right. So what are really the things that you should really consider before moving from one place to another?
I think you really have to be decisive because moving to a new place, a different country, of course, you have a different culture, even the language,
That's right.
the people. You really have to be decisive because it's like it's not that you cannot return from where you come from, but it's a big move.
It's a big move.
Yes,
yeah.
so
you
that
can like what they say. It's not a rice where if it's hot
you can just throw it out from your mouth or like spit it out.
Yeah, spit it out.
Yeah, that's true. So you really have to think.
Yeah.
If you want to use astrology, why not? That can be
actually that's a very good idea.
That's one of the things that you can consider if you
right.
want to move
That's right.
to the to a new place, astrology, and try to do your own research because we also watched several videos. You know, we tried to follow as well some YouTubers showing how much it is, like the prices.
That's right.
If it's within our budget, if we can easily find work. So these things, right? Because you need to find work as well.
Yeah.
And it should be easy for you to find work.
That's right. Yeah. Because before we move here as well, we looked at the cost of living here, and without really learning how much is the difference of salaries here versus the salaries in the Philippines.
Of course, you cannot compare.
Yes, I know. When we were in the Philippines, it sounded like my husband's salary here is much like 3 times higher. But then, without considering the cost of living here, we were surprised after a few months we stayed here that we are actually saving more in the Philippines than we are saving here because of the cost of living. So that's one of the factors that you should really consider.
Yeah. But aside from that, I would say like moving specifically to Auckland, I don't know, I haven't been here for a year in New Zealand. I haven't explored Wellington, Christchurch, and I'm here in Queenstown, which is in the southern part. I think here in Auckland, aside from the weather, I think there are more things to do here. I mean, I'm looking behind because I'm seeing we live in the
city.
heart, in the heart of the city. So I'm looking if there are some pubs here. But then there are more pubs here.
Yeah.
So Auckland, I think, is good for those who are party goers.
Yes.
We're not, but we're planning to tonight.
After celebrate our first episode.
Yes, we're going to a pub. There's so many Korean pubs, soju, everything. So that's the beauty of moving here to Auckland.
That's right. So check your preferences. Check your what do you really like, what you don't like, and try to compare the countries, the places that you are looking at, and see what actually fits your preference more.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it really matters.
It does.
It really matters.
And you know what? One more thing I would like to share is once you move to a new country, let's not try to make comparisons. I mean, we're talking about comparisons, but let's try to really see the culture in the new country, to accept it. Maybe we can really learn a lot from this new culture, from this new country. But let's not try to just, it's better there, it's better here. There will always be good and bad points in everywhere you go.
Yeah.
But I would say that once you are open to new things, then it would be easier for you to adjust to a new country.
That's right.
And that would make your life easier. You'll be able to make new friends. You'll be able to learn what this country or this city has to offer you, right? Yeah, that's one piece of advice as well that I would like to share to those people who are new, who move from one place to a new. Yes.
After considering all the factors, this and that, at the end of the day, experience is really still the best
teacher. Yeah, experience is the best teacher. Yes.
Because I mean, before we moved here, both of us moved here, we never really knew some of the things until we actually experienced it ourselves, right? Maybe it's also good if you travel first to a country that you are eyeing to move to.
That's why I ask you if if it's your first time here, or you tried to survey first if it's really for you, like as a tourist.
That's right.
But if it's worth it, if you can try to explore the country before moving there permanently, I think that's one good advice. Yeah, do your research. You know, there's Google. You can always ask people around. You can join Facebook groups.
That's right, Facebook groups
and ask them how it is in the country or in the place that you are eyeing for.
How did you really get here as a skilled migrant?
I think that would be a good topic to
Yeah.
discuss. And you as well, right?
Yeah, because I got here with a partnership visa.
But that you can explain in the next topic.
Oh,
So we will tell you
yes.
more about how we came here
Yes.
to Auckland, to New Zealand in general, because
Yes, that's
it's a
right.
country. Yes, so that will be for another podcast and
Yes, another episode.
another episode. So hopefully you follow us to our journey. See you guys. We'll catch up with you.
Yes. All right, guys.
Bye.
Again, see you. See you
How
on
do
our
they say?
next.
Hey då. I don't know. In Swedish they say hey då.
Paalam.
Bye.